Hello everyone, and welcome to the second development video blog for Caribbean, an early access title on Steam. Today we're releasing a pretty big update that we've been working on this summer. Let's take a look at some of the changes that went into it. First off, we decided to scrap the city menu concept from Caribbean that has existed in all Mount & Blade games. Instead, we're making a city screen, closer to the likes of City Builder and economic strategy games. Of course, we're not making a city building simulator. Our goal is simply to support the city economy with some visual feedback. We're making sure the city screen works as intended, first and foremost. Once that's in place, we'll make it look pretty. So don't pay too much attention to the graphics just yet. Town and village manufacturers are now combined into one entity. We can construct buildings that produce raw materials and industrial buildings that require raw materials in order to function. Buildings for raw materials can only be constructed in towns that have appropriate resources. For example, you can't just get silver if there's no silver to mine nearby. Every settlement has its own set of resources that we try to make as balanced as possible. You can construct any industrial building you like, but if you don't have the necessary raw materials, you'll need to purchase them on the market, which can empty your wallet pretty quickly. Buildings can be constructed in any town except for those at war with your faction. City administrations can sell you anything from 3 up to 5 building areas. If a town is besieged or has been attacked, there's a risk of losing one of your buildings there. Products manufactured by the player will go straight to the warehouse in his city. All goods and food are now a separate element. We're leaving the use of the usual inventory for weapons and armor only. Horses and cannons as well, but only for the time being. For the sake of convenience, goods are now stacked. Buying and selling is done with the slider. This is the reason that merchants are no longer in the market menu, so don't be surprised when you find them missing. If you want to carry some of the goods, you'll need to load them into your hold. Cargo capacity hasn't been properly set yet, but we hope to balance it out by the cargo volume to make the distinction between different types of ships more noticeable. Right now, we want to test how this whole idea works in general before changing the economic model further on, but you should already get its purpose. We want to give more options to make money, such as becoming a businessman in the Caribbean. We increased the size of sea locations to prepare naval combat for the next set of improvements. Ships are pretty far from one another at the start of the fight now, so if you get bored while closing in, you can switch to the first-person view by pressing the R button. From the captain's bridge, you can look over the horizon through a spyglass with the shift button. Shooting distance for ships has been considerably increased, so cannon duels will start earlier on in the battle. If you don't feel like boarding or exchanging shots in the sea, you can just ram your enemy. But as you can see, ramming still needs some balancing. The AI's behaviour has changed. Now it can gauge an estimate of the number of your crew members and will only initiate boarding if it has an upper hand. If you have more people, the AI will shoot at you with kernels at a longer distance and with grape shot at a shorter distance. If both ships survive a ramming attack, boarding will start immediately. We've also added new boarding locations. All ships are completely redone. Besides the evident difference in textures, we redesigned level geometry, got rid of jamming on decks and unnecessary rooms, made the movement on ships more clear and free for the player. There are now more ways to engage your enemy. You can climb up to the crow's nest for a chance to shoot your enemies from a distance more fit for rifles. Of course, the long-awaited rope jumps are in the game now as well. To jump over a ship, go to a spot marked with this icon and press the use button. The AI is trained to make use of both of these new additions, so keep that in mind. Land battles have received some of the first changes. Now all of the troops you have will be divided by their types automatically. Long-range cavalry, close-range cavalry, melee units, and riflemen. By default, they will hold their positions at the start of each battle, and you will be able to control each formation separately. Cavalry can now perform charge attacks when equipped with melee weapons. Now they won't just stop when they reach an enemy, being an easy target to kill. They'll charge and try to strike, ride away to pick up speed and do it again. Controlling different unit types needs some explaining, so be sure to look it up in the patch notes. That's it for now. Some of the future plans for us include refining land and naval battles, implementing city sieges, and making a brand new strategic map. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.